Good morning. Here is the news on STM Radio Vision, Elisha. First, the headlines. Representative Disown Minority Caucus interim report on tax laws. Discourse rejects federal government's free meter plan. Adeleke defends economic policies, fourth APC blueprint. Angola beat Nigeria in African Handball Championship. Ferry carrying over 350 people sinks in the Philippines, killing at least 15. Now the news in full. I am Chidima Abel. The House of Representatives has dismissed reports of the ad hoc committee set up by the Minority Caucus to re-examine the recently enacted tax laws, describing such actions as procedurally improper and lacking institutional backing. In a statement issued yesterday by the spokesman, Akin Rotimi, the lawyer chamber said that under its standing orders, only the House sitting at the plenary or the Speaker had the authority to constitute an ad hoc committee with parliamentary status. While acknowledging the legitimate role of political caucuses in parliamentary democracy, he clarified that such groups were limited to consultation, coordination, and policy advocacy among members and do not have investigative or oversight powers. He said further, any action taken by a caucus in this regard is therefore non-binding, informal, and without legal or institutional consequence. The lawmaker added that any committee constituted outside the prescribed procedures lacked institutional recognition. He explained further that any interim or final report produced by a caucus-led body cannot be laid before the House or received as a parliamentary document and will not form part of the official legislative or oversight record of the National Assembly. According to him, the alleged action of the Minority Caucus is inconsistent with parliamentary norms and capable of creating public confusion, especially as the issue of the tax laws has already been addressed through established legislative mechanisms. Reaffirming the House's commitment to transparency and accountability, the spokesman stressed that such objectives must be pursued strictly within constitutional and procedural frameworks. Power distribution companies have expressed doubt over the directive by the Minister of Power, Adelabu, that prepaid meters must be free for all categories of customers. Operators who spoke with the journalists anonymously due to the sensitivity of the matter said the minister made only a political statement without considering the input of other stakeholders, especially the installers and meter providers. On Thursday, the federal government banned electricity distribution companies and installers from collecting any form of payment for meters, warning that DISCO officials and installers found extorting customers would be prosecuted. Adelabu issued a warning during an on-site inspection of newly imported smart meters at APM terminals at Papa, Lagos. Power distribution companies have expressed doubt over the directive by the Minister of Power, Adelabu, that prepaid meters must be free for all categories of customers. Adelabu said the meters were procured under the World Bank-funded Distribution Sector Recovery Program and must be installed for consumers free of charge, stressing that any demand for money will be treated as an offense. However, the DISCO operators who spoke with the journalists said the meters tagged as free by the federal government will still be paid for by the DISCO within a period of 10 years. The operators told the journalists that the DISCOs cannot be the ones paying for installation, wondering why the government wants them to bear the cost of installation. Osun State Governor Demola Adeleke has criticized the economic blueprint unveiled by the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Oyebamiji. Governor Adeleke also warned that the proposal could undermine recent economic reforms in the state. In a statement issued by the spokesman, Olawale Rashid, on Sunday in Osogbo, Adeleke said an assessment of the Oyebamiji's document showed policy directions that differ sharply from the development framework currently being implemented by his administration. The governor outlined ongoing initiatives including artisan and cooperative financing programs valued at nearly 4 billion naira, enforcement of local content policies in procurement, and the revitalization of the Osun Digital Economy Hub to boost participation in the global technology sector. Responding to similarities between both policy documents, the governor alleged that aspects of the APC blueprint mirrored projects already being executed. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to sustaining current reforms and warned against policy shifts that could derail progress. On the sports scene, Nigeria's bid to continue the remarkable run at the 2026 African Men's Handball Championships suffered a setback on Sunday as they were narrowly defeated by Angola in their opening match of the main round. The Golden Arrows, who had topped Group A with commanding victories over Algeria, Zambia and host Rwanda, went down 24-27 at the Kigali BK Arena yesterday, leaving their hopes of a semi-final berth and early qualification for the 2027 IHF Men's World Championship hanging in the balance. The match began with Nigeria struggling to contain a determined Angolan side. At halftime, the Arrows trailed 11-14 after conceding a series of well-taken goals. Despite their best effort on the second half, including converting 5 of 7 7-meter throws, Nigeria could not overturn Angola's lead, who were perfect from the penalty spot with 6 successful attempts out of 6. Nigeria's campaign had begun in impressive fashion. In Group A, they stunned 7-time championship Algeria 25-23 after taking the lead in the 14th minute thanks to a 4-0 scoring run. This was followed by comprehensive victories over Zambia 36-18 and host Rwanda 30-20, which saw them finish first in the group, positioning them as strong contenders for the semi-finals. A win against Angola would have contented their place and guaranteed qualification for the 2027 IHF Men's World Championship. And now on the foreign scene, a ferry carrying more than 350 people has capsized off the southern Philippine province of Basilan, killing at least 15 people, according to officials. The accident occurred after midnight on Monday as a passenger vessel MV Tricia Kestin 3 was en route to Jolo Island in southern Sulu after departing the port city of Zamboanga, according to the Philippine Coast Guard. The ferry sank in good weather about 1 nautical mile, nearly 2 kilometers, from the island village of Baluk in Basilan province, where many of the survivors were initially taken, the Coast Guard said. Coast Guard Commander Romel Duar of southern Mindanao district told the journalists that at least 316 people had been rescued so far, with 15 confirmed dead and 28 still unaccounted for. And now to end the news, here is a recap of our stories. We thought it as the House of Representatives has dismissed reports of the ad hoc committee set up by the Minority Caucus to re-examine the recently enacted tax laws, describing such actions as procedurally improper and lacking institutional backing. We also told you that power distribution companies have expressed doubt over the directive by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, that prepaid meters must be free for all categories of customers. Nigeria's bid to continue the remarkable run at the 2026 African Men's Handball Championship suffered a setback on Sunday as they were narrowly defeated by Angola in their opening match of the main round. Lastly, we told you that a ferry carrying more than 350 people has capsized off the southern Philippine province of Basilan, killing at least 15 people, according to officials. That ends the news on Esteem Radio Vision, Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. The news was edited by Ohuayo Ajeboye and was brought to you by Chidima Abel. For sponsorship and advert placement, please contact us on 0916-634-9956. You can also follow us on our social media handles, on Facebook at Esteem Radio Vision, on YouTube at Esteem Studio. Thanks for listening. Good morning.